Why the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The chicken.
Hey guys, Will here, back with another episode of What I Learned This Week. Today, our topics are going to be how to make a handle for a knife, and I will be discussing the issues I experienced while editing my last YouTube video. Today, I have a special guest with me. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Declan Ivers, and I make knives as a hobby.
Declan is a genius when it comes to making knives. He has made this one. It is not complete. As you can see, it has wooden pins at the moment, and the blade is currently covered in duct tape or Gorilla tape to prevent him from cutting himself during the production. But he came over here today to work on this knife, and I was hoping that I could get him to talk about it a little bit.
Cool. So, usually, when you are starting to make your handle, you'll have your piece of steel already traced out and cut out to the shape of the knife that you want. And then when you're first starting, you're going to have a piece of hardwood, preferably oak, which I got for this one here is a piece of a pallet. You would, cut a chunk out of it and place your knife tang, the part that goes inside the handle, you can see is a steel strip, onto your piece of wood and trace it out with, you can use a pencil, a marker, I've used a crayon, and then cut it out with some kind of saw. It could be a hacksaw, a scroll saw, just any way you can get that shape out. And then you're going to place your knife tang on top of one side and drill holes directly through the tang and into the piece of wood. Now, we secured the wood to the tang with duct tape so that it wouldn't move around while we were trying to drill these holes. And then when you're done, you're going to flip it around, and you're going to take the same pieces of wood, the other piece of wood, and tape it to the one that's already been drilled, and you're going to drill through the holes that are already existing into the fresh piece of wood to create symmetrical holes on either side for your pins to go through.
Unfortunately, it did result in the final hole being a tad bit crooked, but this is okay because Declan plans to repurpose this as a lanyard hole, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So to begin shaping your handle, you'll take your knife and attach your handles temporarily to it with some kind of material, wood, metal, doesn't matter, just something that you're not afraid of damaging or scratching, not your final material. And you're going to start shaping it with, we used a belt sander, but you can use files. And when you're using a belt sander, you want to use the very edge where the wheels are to decrease your surface area as much as possible. And it will pull material off very, very quickly and makes it much more efficient for trying to shape it. And you want to keep your piece moving or else it'll start to burn the wood. And also makes a very nice radius for a handle as is comfortable in the hand.
And I assure you that when those wooden pieces have been replaced with brass, I believe you're planning on using?
Yes.
And it has been fully shaped and sanded down to a high grit, and you're probably going to put some kind of coating over it, correct?
Yes.
I assure you that once that is done, this is going to be a fine knife, and it is, it's going to be good, right? This isn't going to be your cheap $20 gas station knife. This is going to be something that's going to last forever. Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we come into the section aptly named Content Review, where I review content. Last week, I reviewed the movie Whiplash, but this week I will be starting a new trend for this show, where whenever the song atop number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, whenever that changes, I will review the song. So currently, that song is Without Me by Halsey, a song about her breakup with fellow rapper G-Eazy. Me and Declan both listened to this song, and we have come up with our comments on this song. So, Declan, what do you think?
It's a very interesting song, to say the least. It's very, the word, creative on the writer's part. What do you think of a song like that?
I didn't bother to look, but I would imagine that she probably wrote this one herself. If you didn't know this, Declan, oftentimes, popular singers, don't write their own lyrics. It's fairly common. But I'm pretty sure she wrote these based on her situation. Yeah, it'd be pretty hollow if she didn't, though.
Yeah.
But the lyrics are a little confusing, and she repeats lyrics that don't make sense, which I imagine is the point, because she's confused. The video shows an actor that looks very, very much like G-Eazy, basically beating up Halsey and treating her like crap, right? I think it's a good visual, and it fits the song. But again, she says these weird, confusing things, and she repeats them over and over again. I'm sure that's important to the song, but it just seems a little bit strange. Would you agree with that?
Agreed. Very much so.
All right. What do you think about the musicality of the song? Like the instruments, the recording, the production, that kind of thing.
The instruments seem kind of lacking. There were only
Lacking.
3 instruments really that probably weren't even real. They were probably,
Fake
generated.
Well, obviously. Yeah, they're all like that.
Yeah, it's didn't really fit well. It seemed like it needed a little bit more to help it along.
Yeah. Obviously, it's your standard pop beat. Nothing particularly special here. Pop chorus, which interestingly is something Halsey specifically has said in the past that she doesn't want to be considered a pop singer, which is exactly what she is at this point. There was a time where she wasn't, but at this point, that's what she has turned into. And the production of the song was kind of boring. However, I would say the best thing about the song was the fact that Halsey did a very good job of showing her emotions through her singing. Like, went into these strange falsettos that really just showed the emotion she was feeling. So I would say that was very good. It really showed what was going on for her. So overall, out of 10,
I'll say probably a 7. 7.
I'm not sure I would have given it a 7. I would be closer to like a 6. It's not rhythmically distasteful or just bad to listen to, but there's nothing special about it. So I personally, I could not justify a 7, but
I'm more generous than you are, though.
Yeah, he is more generous than I am. Yeah, he likes welfare, by the way. He supports like that kind of stuff. He's a flaming liberal. Anywho,
It's lies. None of it is true.
so the computer you see behind me, despite being set up with 4 monitors, is a piece of crap. It has a dual-core, like a 4th generation i3 processor, generic motherboard, 16 gigs of generic DDR3 RAM, and a RX 460. The RX 460 is decent, obviously, perfectly capable of playing most video games at 1080p. It can edit pretty well, but unfortunately, the i3 cannot. It cannot keep up.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to transfer everything back to my laptop. Now, as I discussed in the last video, my laptop is rather high performance. It has a quad-core i7, 4th generation, a NVIDIA K1100M GPU, and 32 gigabytes of RAM. But the big player here was that quad-core i7. Today, that's actually a little bit outdated. That's maybe half the performance you'd be expecting from something similar today. But regardless, I could not get the video to be reasonably edited on the computer, on that desktop. It was so slow. Like, I was looking at the timeline, and it was just juddering along. Even if I reduced the playback speed or reduced the playback resolution, I found it to be uncomfortably slow, especially when effects, transitions, text, or whatnot were added. So I was really disappointed by that. So note, guys, don't buy an i3 processor if you plan on editing in Premiere. And furthermore, don't buy a Radeon card or an AMD card for editing in Premiere, because NVIDIA cards have a advantage. That is the only real world task you'll find, aside from gaming, that NVIDIA is better at. And pretty much everything else, AMD is going to perform a little bit better for tasks like that. and high performance tasks. What kind of computer do you have?
I built it.
I know, but like, what is it?
It's got a quad core. It's like a quad core i7. I think I want to say it's like 5th generation or something like that.
Okay.
Processor, GTX 1070. It's the 10 one. None of that
10
one.
something.
Yeah.
There's the 1050 Ti, 1060, 1070.
1060.
He doesn't have a significant knowledge of specific computer components, but yet he's built a computer. I haven't actually built a computer. Like, I've taken stuff apart and put it back together, but I've never built a computer from the ground up. He has, right?
I just have a guy that tells me what to do.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, I could pick up all the parts. I could pick them all out, and I know what they are. I keep up to date with it, but yeah, I've just never built one. You know why that is, Declan?
Because you suck?
No, it's because I'm broke.
That also is a very big part.
Yep. So the last thing we're going to be talking about today is our product review, where we review 2 products, one you can still purchase and one you cannot. Now, I threw this together last second, so I actually don't know if one of these items can be purchased or not. You might still be able to get it new, but probably not, or at least you shouldn't. But regardless, I have 2 sets of headphones to show you today. The Audio-Technica ATH M50X and the Sennheiser HD 280 Pro. Now, these are both incredibly popular sets of headphones. This set being a little more popular in the professional community, and this set being a little more popular in the DJ community. But today I'm going to compare them a bit. Now, they're both around the same price, or at least they were. The M50X being maybe $20 or $30 more expensive, probably comparing about $120 to $150 dollars. Now, everything you see around me, all of this audio equipment, came because of these headphones. I saw a review. Marquez Brownlee reviewed these, and I liked them, so I thought, I didn't even know there's a difference between high and low end headphones.
Wow.
So, but when I listened to them, I'm like, holy crap, there is a difference. So after that, I just went to this pursuit of everything having to be perfect in the audio department. Regardless, I have these headphones. I've had them for 3 years, and I love them. And the sound quality is excellent. I paid about $150 for them, and they sound better than any pair of headphones I've ever worn. And that includes these. Now, I got these at a thrift store for $30, obviously used. They're missing the headband foam, so they're not as comfortable as they could be. Declan, would you put those on and tell me after I unwind this cord? By the way, the M50s, these headphones, have a removable cord, which allows you to avoid this. Put those on. Tell me how comfortable those are.
The ear sides aren't very. They're comfortable. They're not bad, but there's this top part. It feels like something's kind of gouging into my skull.
Yeah, and that's because it's missing all the padding on the top, which it should have. Now, allow me to trade you. Other way. By the way, guys, it does matter what way you put your headphones on, because most headphones have angled drivers.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't feel something grinding into the top of my head
Right.
anymore.
Now give me my expensive headphones back.
All right, fine. You just don't want me to break them.
Okay, so now I'm not saying that the HD 280s are uncomfortable headphones, because again, as I said, these ones are broken, and they're missing a component, as they should be for their $30 asking price when I bought it. So these headphones are okay, but these headphones are better. Like, the sound quality difference is massive, though. I actually always wanted to listen to a pair of these headphones, because I had kind of looked at both when I was originally buying. These are still available on the market. You can't buy these anymore, I don't think, because these came out 3 years ago when I bought them. These have been out for 10 years. The sound quality difference I never would have thought would be as big as it is, but it's huge. Declan hasn't even listened to these, but I'll give him a listen afterwards when I'm editing. Trust me, massive difference. You can tell them apart instantly. And I've gotten to the point where everything is just compared to these. So basically, if I don't have these, I'm in a bad mood because everything else sounds worse than these, except these massive speakers here, which I got for free. That's another story for another day. But regardless, M50X still a good deal. If you like Bluetooth, I would get the Bluetooth version that's now out. It costs like another $50. Totally worth it. So yeah, I would get these. Except one problem. I'll talk about problems with these. They do break. This component here has the tendency to break. Like this part here, it has broken on mine and my buddy who has the same ones. However, Audio-Technica will pretty much always fix it for you. No charge for 2 years. Audio-Technica is the best company ever when it comes to customer service. Like, they'll have your headphones fixed in like a week, regardless of the problem. You don't even have to prove it. Just send them in. They don't care. They don't even care. Don't even bother proving how long ago you did it or how long you bought them. They don't care. Don't care where you bought them from or whatever. They're warranted. So that's excellent. It's a really good pair of headphones. Would totally recommend that you buy them. So if you like this video, leave a comment on what you'd like me to talk about next, and maybe I'll talk about it. Or I'll even respond to your comment directly if it's interesting enough. Please also like this video, as that will increase the amount of people who are able to see it, and consider subscribing to my channel so you can see more of my outrageous content.